Hello, what's up, y'all? Hi, this your boy Omson the Real. Well, I pray and hope that this video reaches y'all in the best of health and in the best of spirit. While I'm speaking here, I'm also following a program on the TV over there. That's why you always see me look there. Okay, so in this video, I wanted to speak about us Africans and how we think of Europe when we are in Africa. How we think of Europe back in Africa before we actually make it to Europe and then get confronted with the reality, with the surprising reality of Europe. I wanted to speak about this subject tonight because this has happened to myself, and I believe it has happened to 99% of Africans who have come to Europe and found themselves somehow trapped, found themselves deceived about the reality of Europe, found themselves, deceived, you understand, of how they thought of Europe back in Africa and how the reality in Europe actually is. You see, we Africans, when we're in Africa, whenever we hear the name of Europe, what you actually imagine or what comes to our mind is a place, a paradise on this planet Earth. It's a paradise on this planet Earth. Whenever we hear the name of Europe as Africans, this is what comes to our mind. Whenever we hear the name Europe, it's a place of human rights. It's a place where the dignity of the human being is respected, as we see them sing about it on their TV channels every day and every night. Whenever we hear the name of Europe back in Africa, it's like a place of success, a place of riches, a place uh, where whenever you go to, you will 100% become a rich, successful person. You see, we Africans, whenever we hear the name of Europe, this is what comes to our mind. Although you might have known thousands of people who came to Europe, but who couldn't accomplish, who couldn't economically or financially accomplish big thing. You understand? Back in our countries, we still ignore all this reality. You understand? We just believe that Europe is just, the heaven. Europe is just, paradise. You see, and we are ready to pay every price to make it to this paradise called Europe. As you already know, every year thousands of African young men and women dies in the Mediterranean Sea and in the desert from their countries to Libya, and then dies in the Mediterranean Sea from Libya to Europe, either to Italy or to Spain. Every year thousands of African youth dies. And believe me, if 98% of this youth had made it to Europe, didn't die and had made it to Europe, would have regretted, really would have regret why they had to take the risk they took to come to Europe. They would have been deceived about the reality of Europe. You understand? But however, uh, it wasn't part of their destiny to make it to Europe, to see Europe, so they died in the sea or in the desert. You understand? In their attempt to reach this paradise on this planet Earth called Europe. You see, Europe is not heaven, really. I want my African brothers and sisters, those who are in Africa, I want you to understand that Europe really is not paradise. Europe can be the exact opposite of all the sweet things we think of, all the beautiful things we think of whenever we hear the name of Europe back in Africa. Europe can be the exact opposite of these things. Europe can be very complicated. Europe can be very difficult. Europe can be a hell on this planet Earth. Yeah, I understand Europe looks smooth. Europe is an advanced continent. Yeah, Europe is a rich place. Europe has opportunities. But the problem with Europe is that it's a bureaucratic continent. Europe has systems that are set to make it very difficult for foreigners to achieve success here in Europe. They have systems set for this. You understand? They have systems set to make things very complicated for you as a foreigner. There are actually systems that goes hand in hand with their way of life. You understand? For instance, when you leave Africa to come to Europe, and this another thing most of us don't know until we find ourselves trapped into it here in Europe. It is that when we leave Africa to come to Europe, one first thing that is going to stress the hell out of us, and which is even drives many Africans mad, lose their minds, which causes many Africans to get depressed and eventually lose their minds in the process. That is documentation. European permit of stay. This is another reality about Europe that most of us Africans don't know until we come here and find ourselves trapped into it. When you leave Africa to come to Europe, you will go through this procedure called permit of stay. You understand? Permit of stay. Europe is not like Africa where you can just leave to go to this other African country and you can live there forever, you understand, without having to worry about deportation back to your country, without having to worry about police controlling you in every corner or in every garden where you go to have a good time, police control you. Europe is not like that. Europe is not like that. In Europe here, when you come to Europe, in order for you to be allowed to leave Europe, you will have to have a European permit of stay. A permit of stay of the European country in which you currently are. You will have to go through a procedure or a process to have that permit of stay of that country in order for you to be able to live and to work in that country. A reality which we are not aware of when we are in Africa. Many of our brothers and sisters who live in Europe, they don't tell us this reality. And also, in many cases also, even if they told us, we wouldn't believe it. You understand? We wouldn't believe that Europe is just like that. We just see Europe as something. Europe is kind of sits between us and our And our senses, Europe is located between us, our mind, and our sense. You understand? So we cannot just imagine anything negative or anything bad or difficult about Europe. You see. So you will have to go, when you come to Europe, you will have to go through this documentation process. You understand? To have to attain a permit of stay of the European country in which you are. You understand? Which forces many to ask for asylum. You understand? To submit a refugee application. You understand? So for you to have this permit of stay now, uh, uh, you will have to have a problem in your country, a problem for which you cannot go back. You understand? Maybe your life is threatened back in your country. If you go, maybe you get killed or you get humiliated in some way, or you understand, or maybe there's gender issues in your country, like for example, homosexuals and lesbians are maltreated in your country. You understand? Then you can make your refugee case based on that. And maybe they can, if they study the case and see that in your country really lesbians and homosexuals are persecuted by the authorities or by the people, you understand, then they can give you a refugee status. You understand, which will then be your permit of staying in that country. Or maybe you are sick, you have a disease which cannot be treated in your country. You understand? So that can also cause them to give you the permit of stay. You understand? Of the European country in which you are. You understand? Or maybe there is a war, ongoing war in your country. You understand? If you are from the part of your country where there is war, you understand, and you can give them proofs that you are from that part of your country, that troubled or war zone of your country. Sometimes it can allow them to give you a permit of stay of the European country in which you submitted that refugee application. You understand? These are all things that we Africans don't know about Europe. And it is very difficult to attain a European permit of stay. All the things I have mentioned, you can have them all, or you can apply your asylum, you understand, on all these things, and you still can get rejected by the systems. You understand? And once you get rejected, that's the beginning of of your high stress. That's the beginning of your continuous and endless stress. You understand? Because once you get rejected, they will start telling you leave the country, go here, come there, blah 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 blah. Bring passport of your country or you will get deported. This is that and this is that. You see. So Europe is not a heaven, my brothers. Europe is not a heaven. If you have a family member, brother or sister here in Europe, you understand, who is managing to send you some financial support, sometimes you should really thank that person. It's not easy. And another things that being African or being a black person in Europe is not easy at all. For us black people, it is not easy at all. It's not easy at all. It's very, very difficult for a black person to live in Europe here. It's not easy. It's very difficult. A lot of discrimination goes on against it. Once you come to Europe and start to realize the system, start understanding things, one of the first things that really will disappoint you about Europe is how you are treated. You understand how you are treated in the social life of Europe. You understand in shops, in restaurants, in bars, in nightclubs, in the trains, in buses, at train stops, looking for accommodation, a house to rent. You understand? You will get discriminated like not like there is no tomorrow, because most of them, I don't know who taught them this, or I don't know what black people have done to them, but I don't know, maybe black people had colonized them through history, black people had enslaved them, or maybe black people had somehow committed some kind of genocides against them. I don't know, but really, they see, once they see a black people, a black person, the only thing that comes to their mind in most cases is negative things. You understand? If it's inside the shop, they will follow you around. If you go inside the shop, they will follow you around. You see, if you go inside the bus, you understand. Once the bus controllers feels you, you are inside the bus, they will come in and control you. Once they see a black person, some alert, something alert goes on behind the head, all over the head. You understand. There is something that alerts, you understand, something really goes on inside the heads once they see a black person around. If it's inside the shop, they follow you around. If it's inside the bar, they feel like, this person, he might bring some problems or some troubles or some misbehaviors here. So they will focus on you so much that they will forget to enjoy themselves. when I go to nightclubs, when I go to nightclubs, sometimes they will to reject you from entering inside the nightclub. They will tell you, tonight this nightclub is private. Someone just has rented the nightclub for the person's birthday. You understand? So only the person's guests are allowed to enter. The people the person has invited are the only people allowed to enter the nightclub. You understand? So it's a lot of shit going on. You understand? Against us black people. You understand? But we are very strong, and you see, we somehow manage to handle all these things. But then there are many black people who really lose their minds because of the way they are treated. You understand? It's some kind of psychological warfare. They attack your mind. You understand? You have to be very good at controlling your beliefs. You understand? You have to be emotionally strong. You have to be mentally strong. You have to be strong in the heart. You have to know that these people are the way they are. There is nothing wrong with you, but everything is wrong with their minds and how they view you. You understand? Because they don't know you. Just because you're a black person, once you enter there, they will discriminate against you, which is the highest form of ignorance anybody can do. You understand? Although they have seen people who look like them do shit to them repeatedly. You see, they still, it is the black person designed in their head. That's what is designed. I don't know who designed, but that's what is designed in their head. That's everything that's bad. You understand? So, my fellow Africans, Europe isn't heaven, guys. If you wanted to come to Europe, you can come. But Europe isn't heaven. And in most cases, you understand, you will regret taking all the risk you took to come to this Europe. You see, in Italy, I have seen many Africans lost their minds because people are sleeping in the streets. There's houses, but somehow they choose to let the people sleep in the streets. You understand? These Africans come newly to Europe, they have no idea. and then they find themselves sleeping in the streets. You understand? They feel like, what the fuck? What kind of Europe? Did I reach Europe? Yes, you have reached Europe. This is the reality of Europe. Europe is not all the things you see on the TV or hear, the smooth, you understand human rights and blah, blah, blah. You see them talk about on the TV. The reality is another thing. And to understand this reality in most cases, it will be late. Because when you understand it, you're already trapped in it. You see? So in this video, I have tried my best to explain to my fellow Africans, those in Africa who wish to one day make it to Europe, who wish to one day come to Europe, or who desires to come to Europe. You understand, because they think Europe is a paradise on this planet Earth. So this is I just try understand to explain some realities about Europe to my African brothers. I hope this message reaches many. You understand? And the many Africans who lives in Europe, when they watch this video, they will agree with me. You understand? It's not easy at all. In Europe already is not easy. But to be a black person in Europe, that make it double difficult. Okay, guys, please, after watching this video, always remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Support my YouTube channel by subscribing, so you keep getting, these talks. You encourage me to, you understand, to keep making videos, sharing my thoughts and my beliefs, my vlog videos going around, you understand, filming places, share them with you, you understand, also share my thoughts and beliefs with you on different subject matters, on different walks of life, like I just did this video now. You understand? Okay, until next time, see you all again. Take care of yourself, stay safe. Wherever that you are, it is possible for you to make it there. Work hard, think hard, don't stress, think good, positive thinking hard. You understand, on achieving your goals. Okay, until next time, see you all again. Peace up. Boom.